Hi there! So, cast your mind back to 2016. After years of Nintendo refusing to develop mobile games, they finally caved in and revealed their first foray into this new world, Miitomo. It was based on the Miis of all things, and it looked bizarre and wacky. However, intrigued as people were, this Miitomo app ultimately turned out to be a failure for Nintendo. But why didn't it become the success Nintendo hoped? And why did Nintendo choose the Miis as the focus of their first ever app? Well, let us find out as we journey through Miitomo's development history. The year was 2014, and after finishing work on life simulation game Tomodachi Life, Nintendo producer Yoshio Sakamoto started brainstorming what his next project could be. He wanted to create something involving the Miis again, but not exactly a game this time. Yes, what if he developed some sort of communication software? Ooh, and he could build it into the 3DS. Perfect! After thinking up that basic proposal, Sakamoto started showing this brief around the company. Now, around this time, Nintendo president Satoru Iwata had just announced that Nintendo were not ruling out the possibility of developing mobile games. Internally, that meant that the company began undertaking a lot of research into the possibility of developing games for mobile systems. Now, when Iwata saw the proposal for Sakamoto's Mii-based 3DS communication system, he reached out to Sakamoto and asked him to join the team that Iwata was setting up to conceptualize and then develop Nintendo's first foray into the mobile world. Sakamoto accepted, and he and Iwata began talking about the possibility of converting this 3DS Mii communication software into a mobile app. They discussed how, if Miis were able to surpass the boundaries of a single system, then maybe a mobile app really would work. But could they surpass these boundaries? Well, Iwata and Sakamoto decided to give it a shot. And with that settled, development began on this mobile communication app. Since both Sakamoto and Nintendo as a whole were completely new to this foreign world of mobile gaming, they decided to partner with an outside company who specialized in mobile game development, that being DeNA. Not only had the company developed a boatload of mobile games in the past, they also operated the mobile game marketplace Mobage. Basically, they knew their stuff. And so, the responsibilities were split between the two companies. Nintendo mostly took on the front-end side of things, the design, interface, graphics, and music, while DeNA focused on setting up all of the back-end parts, the servers, the databases, the behind-the-scenes parts, if you will. To monetize the game, Nintendo and DeNA added clothes the player could buy with real, actual, genuine money. When pricing the items of clothing, Nintendo leaned heavily on DeNA's experience in microtransaction pricing. Now, late in development, Nintendo decided to add one more mode, Mii Photo, where players could use their own plus their friends' Miis to create little pictures. This feature ended up being a personal favorite of Nintendo of America president at the time, Reggie Fils-Aimé. And so, on the 17th of March 2016, 2 years after development began, Miitomo was released. The initial reception was largely positive, if a little apprehensive. Gamasutra's headline sums it up pretty well. We don't get what the point of Miitomo is, but that's okay. Reviews noted how polished and playful it felt, very Nintendo in their opinion. However, warning signs were already beginning to emerge. According to reviewer Alex Waro, it feels rewarding to add friends and customize your persona here in the early days of its US debut, but I don't know if there's enough meat to keep people checking it regularly for more than a week or two. And Waro wasn't exactly wrong. As the next few weeks went by, a problem started becoming apparent. The number of active users was steadily decreasing. Why was this? Well, aside from talking to friends, there really wasn't much to do in the app. Nintendo had expected that friends would continue chatting with each other, answering questions about themselves and such. They were soon proven wrong, however. You see, people didn't download Miitomo to replace the current communication apps they used. They wanted a full-on game. Twitter with Miis wasn't gonna cut it. To try and combat this problem, Nintendo released a number of updates to the app. New clothing, and tie-ins with other Nintendo games like Kirby and Fire Emblem. Even large updates which made major changes to the app, like room customizability. But even these couldn't prevent the, at this point, inevitable plummeting number of active users. And as May 2018 rolled around, after 2 years of a steadily dwindling user base, Nintendo made the difficult judgment call to shut down Miitomo. Now, does that mean Miitomo was a flop? I don't think that's completely true. Although it didn't become the huge phenomenon revolutionizing communication that I think the developers wanted it to be, at launch it had a surprisingly high number of downloads, 10 million. But more importantly, it taught Nintendo some important lessons about how to create mobile games that really resonate with the kind of people who want to play them. And though there have been some ups and downs, I think Animal Crossing Pocket Camp learnt from many of Miitomo's shortcomings, and I hope their next mobile games will do so even more. I'm looking at you, Mario Kart Tour. Mobile gaming is a completely new world for Nintendo, but I think their first attempt could have gone a lot worse. Hi there, thanks for watching to the end. I remember playing this game at launch with my friends back in 2016. What about you? Did you play it? If so, what did you think? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more videos like this every week, plus sharing this video with your friends is always helpful. Right, see you next week. Bye!